repeat or revenge. It's run it back time for Chris Eubank Jr. You would have seen the news yesterday that he's activated his rematch clause to face Liam Smith again in the rematch. I just thought I'd jump on here and give you my thoughts, and I'll start with Chris Eubank Jr. Where else could he have gone? Let's be honest. A devastating loss like that. Normally, when especially in boxing, you lose like that, you're way down the pecking order. But there was a rematch clause in his contract, and he's activated it. Now, being the proud man and the fighter that Chris Eubank Jr. is, he's wanting to right that wrong. Clearly, he's probably felt in those 4.5 rounds that he was in the fight, that he was comfortable in there up until the stoppage. Maybe he thought after the first knockdown, if he had just took a knee rather than just bouncing straight back up again after getting knocked down, and you seen him stumbling over to the referee, if he had just took a knee, a couple of deep breaths, got his composure, got up at 8, maybe would have survived the round a little bit better, and got to the corner, took his minute break and came back into the 5th and tried to get his composure again. And like I said, he's a fighter. He's wanting to right that wrong, clearly. But for Liam Smith, you've got a guy who wasn't phased one bit about the mind games from Chris Eubank Jr. Liam Smith isn't built like that. You can't get inside that man. If anyone's met Liam Smith, you would know the type of guy he is, the type of man he is. Mind games and trash talking and that. He'll give as good as he's got in the trash talking. You witnessed that at the press conference in all fight week in the first fight, but you can't get inside Liam Smith's head. He's just built differently. He doesn't play them games. And the fight itself for Liam, apart from Liam, Paul, his brother Paul, Stephen, his brother, and his other brother Callum, maybe his dad as well, Paul Senior, definitely his coaches and Joe Mack and Declan. I don't think anyone else thought that Liam Smith could stop Chris Eubank Jr. I mean, the general consensus for me fight week when I was down there was either a decision either way. Nobody really could have saw a stoppage. And if there was a stoppage, it was Chris Eubank stopping Liam. It wasn't Liam stopping Chris. So I think Liam surprised everyone. But Liam said, if you go back and look at all the interviews that Liam had during that fight week, he said, don't be fooled, especially in my interview as well. He said, don't be fooled. Chris can be hurt. Chris can be hurt and I can't stop him. And true to his word, that's exactly what he did in a devastating fashion. Now, the rematch was a big fight, probably just as big as the first fight. It's got a big fight. You've got two massive stars in Britain in boxing, that is, and Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr., two huge names, two totally different contrasting personalities outside the ring and inside the ring, two different styles inside the ring. And that's going to bring that fight week animosity again, I believe. I mean, there's the elbow gate. I'm sure that will come up, the elbow. But looking at it, an elbow like that compared to an elbow like that coming down, but an elbow like this, what's going to cause more damage? I'm not an MMA guy, but what I will say is it's professional boxing. And boxers will tell you, you get hit with elbows when you come out the roll, when you hit somebody's elbow coming out the roll, there's head clashes in professional boxing. Unfortunately, that's part of the game. But so I'm sure that will come up during fight week. For Liam, like I know he wants to become a 2-time world champion. But you look at the division he's in at 160. If he sticks around 160, you've got Golovkin, you've got Janabek, I believe, as well. He's holding the title up there. And then Munguia rematch. I mean, that would be a good rematch. But is it as big as Chris Eubank Jr. rematch? Nope. And down at 154, you've got Charlo, who holds all the belts down there. So would any of these fights plausible for Liam coming into the summer? Maybe not. So maybe the Chris Eubank Jr. fight is the biggest fight for Liam out with those names I've just mentioned. So it kind of makes sense in that sense. And plus, they're both going to get well paid as well in this rematch. But like I said to you at the start of this, it's repeat or revenge. Liam's got the bragging rights now. Liam stopped him in devastating fashion. And already the back and forth's happening. Do you know what I mean? Chris Eubank sent out a tweet, him sitting, enjoying a coffee, I believe, saying, I've activated the rematch clause. I'll see you soon. Happy Valentine's Day, sorry, Liam Smith. tagged Liam in it, I believe. And then Liam replied back with his own tweet saying, "See you soon," with a picture of Chris Eubank on the canvas. So the trash talking's already started. It's a big fight. Both fighters are going to get well paid. For Chris Eubank, he wants to right that wrong. For Liam Smith, outside of those big names that I've just mentioned, in the Golovkins and the Charlos and the Munguias and the Janabeks and all these guys, the next fight that's probably easiest to make for as much money as he is going to get for a Golovkin fight is the Eubank rematch. So, yeah, like I said to you at the beginning, let me know. Repeat or revenge? You guys tell me.